Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. There on the screen in all her glory is the American escort carrier, I guess you would call it, the Independence. We are on Land of Fire in a domination match, and we are down tier here with an aircraft carrier. What are we doing in an aircraft carrier? Well, I know you're wondering, and I will tell you why. The USS Independence CVL-22 doesn't have any special meaning to me, but another aircraft carrier in this same class of ship, the USS Cabot, is a ship that my great uncle Willis served on during World War II. The Cabot was part of the Enterprise's battle group, I think. It was in all of the battles you hear about in the Pacific Theater, the Marianas Turkey Shoot being probably the most prominent of those battles, at least in terms of a U.S. victory. And the Cabot was hit by a kamikaze, although I never got to meet my great uncle before he died. You know, that kind of thing is pretty important to me. So even though I chose the black when I bought out the campaign, I also went back and bought the Independence because it's the closest thing I'm probably going to get, unless Wargaming at some point decides to put the Cabot into the game as a pan-European ship. Now, why would they do that? Because it was later sold to Spain, and it was renamed Daedalus, but it used different airplanes, and it was probably 10 or 15 years, maybe 20 years after the end of World War II. It may have been like 1967, if I'm remembering it correctly. So I don't expect to see it in the game. So because this is the closest thing I can get to the Cabot, I had to buy it. All right, now that's out of the way, you can see I like to start off with the bombers here on the U.S. warships. And we were going after this London simply because he was there. You know what they say about London anyway, right? Like, I see London, I see France. Anyway, we got a bomb hit there and set a couple of fires. You know, the bombs are really the big damage makers on the U.S. ships, and the Independence is no exception. These Helldivers, I'm not sure the airplanes are accurate based on Tactic Angel's video, if these are actually the planes that they had on the Cabot. And actually, my book about the Cabot, or the Independence, pardon me, my book about the Cabot would have said what airplanes there were on there. It's called First Man, Last Man, if I remember the title correctly. But that book is not available to me right now. It's in storage. So I cannot verify the accuracy of these air groups here on the Independence, or the Independence class ships in general. So the Helldivers are what they are. Your HE bombs are definitely what you want to build into. And because you can start out with 2 full flights of them, I recommend starting off that way. Here's a Vastrus we're going to drop, and I am not the greatest aircraft carrier player, nor am I good at dropping the bombs. So this is something that a highly skilled player will have no problem harassing the bejesus out of somebody, but I'm just an average player, so I'm forced to do bomb drops like that, where if I get lucky, the destroyer sails into the bomb as it's falling, and more than likely I just totally whiff. Alright, we're going to go back for one last bite of the apple here. As you can see, I'm probably doing this all wrong, but this one's going to be pretty good, except we just didn't get the green circle over the ship before dropping the bombs. Alright, now we got our torpedoes, and I have to tell you, just like I really like the Saipan's torpedoes, I guess the quasi higher tier version of the Independence, I really like the Saipan's torpedoes planes, and I really like the Independence's torpedo planes, even though they are pretty trashy airplanes, the Devastators. No slight to anybody who flew one, but I don't think they're very highly regarded. Alright, there you saw we had to set our autopilot. The big Achilles heel of the Independence doesn't have any secondary guns at all, and it is very visible from the ocean. So you really got to be cognizant about being spotted and being taken out of the battle that way. And I got to tell you, I probably have played 10 matches in the Independence so far, and I generally average about 50k damage in a game. And like I said, I don't play aircraft carriers a lot, so whether that is a good number or a bad number, I don't know. But that's the only number I'm getting. My high damage was 72k in one match. Here we do a torpedo drop on the same Vastras. We totally miss because I didn't have time to close up the aiming triangle there. So let's go look for an easier target. And really, going after these wounded ships is one of my number one tactics in an aircraft carrier, to make it look like I'm contributing to the battle. Here we're going to get lucky. That plane is not going to get shot out of the air. And we do get 2 torpedoes off on the London, our old friend. And as you can see, we finish him off for our first kill. Gotta say, I do love the color scheme of the Devastator, although, again, based on Tactic Angel's video, my understanding that color scheme is from World War I. I highly encourage you to check out both his history video and his video gameplay of the Independence. Although, I don't know if it's any better than what I have going on here. Just being honest. All right. So here we are. We're flying around. We've got a Benson. You know, in theory, you're supposed to attack destroyers in the aircraft carrier. And so we're going to shoot some torpedoes here at the Benson. We get the aiming thing closed up nice and tight. 2 torpedoes out. We do get 1 torpedo strike on the Benson. We're going to immediately come back around, just throw torpedoes in the water, and hope he sails into them. And I don't think he does, but I'm pretending I'm doing something. As you can see, it actually came pretty close, but he did just dodge them. So maybe if I was better at dropping HE bombs, I would be better at taking out destroyers, but let's be honest, you just saw I'm not very good at that. Here we throw the last torpedo in the water, simply because we were about to die. And again, just barely missed the Benson, which would have been quite a boost to my ego if I had managed to take him out. All right, we are back in the Helldivers. You know, I want to say you start off really strong in the Independence because you got 2 flights of bombers and 1 flight of torpedo boats. But after that, you got to count on your recharge rate to get these planes back up in the air. Here we are doing a bomb run on the Benson. Again, he kind of steering into it. We just have to fling the bombs down there. And of course, we totally miss. I'm sure if you were an aircraft carrier main, you are watching this and saying to yourself, Jesus, this guy has no idea what he's doing. And that's not totally true, but it's mostly true. I mean, I know you're supposed to put the green outline over the ship. I just, that was pure luck that I sort of lined it up there. And again, we totally missed. I'm just harassing this guy and keeping him spotted for my teammates to kill him. And we're going to count that as our contribution to the match. By the way, we are down by 2 ships, although we're continuing to pester the Benson to no success. All right, we've got our last Helldiver. We're continuing to go after him. It's putting up this smoke screen, and we're just going to try to get in here and get one last launch out. And we do, and it totally misses. All right, well, that's disappointing. All right, we're continuing to run away. As you can see, I extended my path to the corner, although I decided to divert to this island because I don't want to get too far away from the rest of the enemy ships. Whether that was a smart move or not, I guess, is up to the people watching this video. We're flying around here. We don't have a full flight here, but as you can see, I do have a full flight of torpedo planes waiting for me. And because I feel much more confident in the torpedo planes, that is good news for me. We adjusted our maneuvering to get a little bit farther away here. Here we come in again on the Benson. We just spot him for our teammate, and they take him out. I'm very happy about that. All right, so now that he is dead, I can go after this other ship, and we remaneuver here because I don't want to get killed. And you know, good AA, not great AA. We're moving in here. We're going to try to drop this bomb here. The ship, sort of get it lined up here, but we waited a little bit too long. Anyway, we caught the tail end of the Gneisenau and set him on fire. And he runs into a bunch of torpedoes, but we get the kill because he burned to death when he's still a little bit of health left. All right, kill number 2. Well, kill pinching extraordinaire here in the Independence. All right, so we're going to readjust our ship again because the 2 closest enemy ships are now dead. And I don't want to try to fly all over the map just to get to a ship to kill it. And our team is pretty much pulled even, no thanks to me. And so we got another flight of these TBD Devastators. I'm really digging the yellow wings and the green tail. You know, just put a modern plane in that paint scheme just to see what it's like. I bet it will look great. So we're flying along, and we are moving in here on this battleship, and I saw the name briefly. Might be an anime battleship. Is this the ARP Haruna? I don't even know. All right, we're going to do our drop here. Look at this beautiful lineup here. We're getting it in. Oh, it might be in Arizona. We're going to lead him just a little bit because they're not especially fast, and he looks like he's trying to turn. So we're going to lead him a little bit with these torpedoes. 1 torpedo strike and a flood, 2 torpedo strikes, and he's continuing to turn in, which is pretty smart. But we are going to turn into his turn and prepare for another drop here on the Arizona. And I hate to say this, in my opinion, Arizona weak from air attack. Too soon? Probably. All right, another torpedo strike, 2 torpedo strikes, flooding. He gets finished off by my teammate. Turnabout is fair play. I ain't even mad. All right, got the Helldivers back in the air. We are looking for a destroyer to drop our AG bombs on. They're easily the most powerful thing. You'll see it. We're doing a port review. I actually have about 1, 2, 3 other games just like this game in the Independence. This is the one I chose because we get 3 kills in it. Probably the best outcome in terms of base XP. So that's why I chose this game. But I don't play aircraft carriers a lot, and I'm averaging about 50k damage in this ship. So if you're a DD main, I would get the black and not look back. However, if you're not a destroyer player, I think it's fun. I think the Independence is fun. You just have to manage your lack of concealment and do everything you can do to boost this plane recharge if you do decide to get the ship. Doesn't have secondaries. You got to make sure you're far away from the action. All right, here we are hunting this last destroyer. It is the Vasteris again. We're going after him. Here we come. I'm all caught up with excitement. We drop the bombs. Oh my god. I bomb killed a destroyer. I actually bomb killed a destroyer. Won a match, but that was a pretty good hit because he had a lot of hit points left. All right, we spot the enemy aircraft carrier. Like in all my matches with the Independence, I'm facing off against the Serov, so we're going to go over here and just spot him. This is probably dumb because this one plane isn't going to do anything, but I'm trying to get my torpedo planes up to 12, and right as we're about to drop, we get taken out by his AA. All right, torpedo planes in the air. So we've got a Serov and we've got a North Carolina. Remember, we are down tier. And so I decide to myself, I know the Serov has a bunch of easy accumulating hit points and I could take them out. But I'm a team player. The North Carolina ain't playing around. He just killed one of my teammates. So I'm going to go after the North Carolina. All right. So we're prioritizing our targets. We're passing up the Serov for the battleship. And here we are, we're going to drop fighter planes over a friendly ship. Now the torpedoes are already in the water, I can't help them there, but at the very least we might be able to shoot some of those airplanes down. Alright, continuing onward, here is the North Carolina, kind of hiding in the back corner of the map. I think he might just start accelerating here once we do our bomb run, or our torpedo run. That is what it is. But we're going to turn in here in a second. Now keep in mind, North Carolina fast battleship, pretty maneuverable, pretty good AA. Got to keep that in mind when you attack this ship. I just thought between the two of them, I can do more for my team by attacking the North Carolina than attacking the Serov. So he turns too much. He can't turn full broadside to me, I think. The Colorado gets taken out. We do our drop here on the North Carolina. We've got a big point lead. We hit him with a torpedo, and then the rest of our planes die. The time is ticking down. We're going to try to get this thing in the air and see if we can do anything else to help our team. And I don't think we can. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of time left. There's the Serov. We'll try to head that way because he's got a lot of hit points. But at the end of the day, I believe time is going to run out on this match. All right, we get a couple milestones here. Here we are on the victory screen. 46,248 total damage. 7 torpedo strikes. Looks like 4 bomb hits. We did get 3 kills, set 3 fires. And we shot down 1 airplane with fighter-to-fighter combat. We ended up with 240,458 silver and 4823 ship XP and commander XP in the Independence. There we are, a great game to the Shikane commander, over 3,000 base XP. We had 1786 with 3 big kills. The number 1 kill getter on our team, although admittedly some of them may have been kill pinches, but that is neither here nor there. I'm happy with this match, and you should be too, because you like this channel because you came here to watch this video. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what ship you're going to choose at the end of the campaign, but I don't think the Independence is a bad ship. It just has some really striking limitations with concealment and not having any secondary armament. In terms of the upgrades, Flight Control Mod 1, and of course AA Guns Mod 2. And you need that flight control in order to get those airplanes recharged. That's why I go with that. Loadout, you got the auto damage control party and 4 auto fighter plane consumables. We didn't run any booster flags. I would use the speed one if it was available. Type 9 permanent camo. And the Independence flag, not sure how accurate that is to real life. 39,000 hit points with this ship. You got your Devastators and your Helldivers. Your Devastators only do about 6630 damage per torpedo. That's the max damage. Your Helldivers do 15,810 bomb damage. You can see we took out that Vasteris at the end. So the bombs are definitely the way to go. But for me, somebody who doesn't play carriers a lot, the torpedoes feel a lot more comfortable and easy to use. AA defense 58. I would say that's just enough to defend yourself, maybe a little bit more. But you have no secondaries, so you've got to manage your distance from the enemy team. 31.5 knots, I think that's pretty good. 820 meter turning circle, 11.4 second rudder shift time, and concealment, horrible. 12.5 in the surface, 10.9 from the air, 2 kilometers guaranteed detectability. I want to say my stealth Yamato has 100 meters more detectability than this ship. That shouldn't be accurate. All right, got a really wacky, partially above water, step down citadel. Not very heavily armored below the waterline. You have a teeny little armor belt there, probably left over from when this was supposed to be a cruiser. You got your bow here of 16 millimeters. Torpedo belt, big, not big enough. You know, flight deck, I want to say is 13 millimeters. And, you know, then you got your island or your conning tower, whatever you want to call it. Not doing a whole lot there. Here's Ernest King. I advanced him to 15 by accident, so don't do that. I think he's good at 14. Unless you play carriers a lot. We got Yamaguchi and Swirsky. Row 1, no fly zone. Hoping to increase the range of our AA. I think that's important. You shoot them down sooner. Number 2, emergency power. Aircraft cruise speed. It's just a better alternative than Stronghold, because if you take damage, you're probably going to be dead shortly thereafter anyway. So row 3, out of sight, dive bombers. Really hoping to boost that because that's the best part of your attack. And then in row 4, we're going to boost the dive bombers again with Burn Baby Burn. Increases the fire chance and the damage that the bombs do. And then finally, again, concealment. Very tempting, but you're all about offense in the carriers, in my opinion. Legendary skill, Death from Above, again, dive bomber airspeed, and reduces damage to your carrier when you're near a teammate. Anyway, that's how I set up the Independence. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next one.